Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos. Shelter gives woman warning about her cat that rattles her. Grace Choi was always more than just an animal lover. She was a hero. Not only did she foster animals in need while taking care of her own, but she also was a board member of a very important nonprofit rescue organization, Boomer's Buddies. However, one day when Grace decided to take in a small kitten named Rumble, she was hit with an unsettling message from the shelter that left her questioning everything she thought she knew. Could it be true? She desperately hoped not. Grace joined the nonprofit Boomer's Buddies, a dog and cat rescue that specializes in saving vulnerable animals who need a little extra TLC before finding their forever family and home. Rising through the organization's ranks, Grace saw too many heartbreaking stories, but one in particular stood out among the rest. Grace is always on the lookout for any animals in need, so when her mom showed her a video of a strange-looking cat named Rumble, Grace teamed up with her organization to save him. She took it upon herself to pick up the cat, but when she arrived at the Orange County shelter in late 2020, she was shocked to see the state the cat was in. Grace already had the feeling this cat had been through a lot. From the video, she could already see the unsettling skin irritation across the cat's face. And then there were his deformed paws, which scared many potential rescuers away. Though Grace and everyone at Boomer's Buddies could tell the cat deserved a second chance, some of the shelter staff didn't quite feel the same way. The kangaroo cat was flagged as feral and aggressive by the shelter, which is probably why no one wanted to take a chance on her. Despite the warnings, Grace took him home with her, but she couldn't shake off the worry that she wasn't enough. Grace believed every animal deserves love, but with her own pets to take care of, among other responsibilities, she worried that she wouldn't give her new foster friend the full attention he needed. Grace was seriously concerned about his disability. The nickname Kangaroo Cat came about because of the congenital defect he was born with. His front paws were too undeveloped to support him. He resorted to hopping and sometimes wobbling around on his hind legs. Looking like a kangaroo, the nickname stuck at the shelter. But for Grace, a much more fitting name came to mind. Grace longed to help her new foster pet feel at home, so she started with a fresh introduction, giving him a name, Joey. That was only the start of the cat's rehabilitation, as Joey had a long way to go. Having that kind of disability couldn't have been easy, but his other conditions made life even harder for him. Frightened around most people, Joey needed some time before he could settle in. It didn't help that he suffered from feline scabies, which caused his skin irritation. Joey had a hard enough time with people and other animals, but with the contagious skin disease, unfortunately, it would be some time before he could really interact with anyone. Grace took as much time as she could to rehabilitate her new furry friend, but she still worried about her ability to be a good foster mom for Joey. With support from her colleagues at Boomer's Buddies, she was able to pull through. Remembering why she joined the animal rescue business always helped bring Grace inspiration. During her time with Boomer's Buddies, Grace looked up to founder Jessica Davis, who started the whole organization after she rescued an at-risk dog named Boomer. And like Jessica, Grace saw a chance to foster an animal that was truly in need. She held on to hope that everything would work out for Joey despite the odds. That hope was soon rewarded. The once antisocial cat began to beg for pets from Grace, who found him quirky and hysterical. After he warmed up to Grace and finally started to feel at home, it was time for Grace's pets to meet Joey. Grace owns 2 dogs and a cat called Kitty Boy, who's famous on Instagram. The dogs took their time in warming up to Joey. They probably sensed that he needed his space. But no one pushed harder, for better or worse, to befriend Joey than Kitty Boy. Once Joey recovered from the skin disease, Kitty Boy came running in to meet him. Grace knew better than to rush things, so she kept Joey's door closed until he was ready. It's good that she did, because as soon as he heard Kitty Boy's meowing, Joey was a bit panicked. The end result, however, was a real shock. Kitty Boy called out repeatedly to Joey, hoping to become friends right away. But Joey was surprised to hear another cat in the house. Curiosity took over and he approached the door. Kitty Boy wouldn't stop his meowing, and surprisingly enough, Joey joined him. Having a short conversation with another cat was great for Joey, but Kitty Boy wanted more. The very friendly Tabby was so eager to make a new friend that Grace had to keep an eye out on him as well as on Joey. The moment Joey's door opened, there was Kitty Boy trying to jump right in. Not the best second impression, but Joey wasn't too upset about it either. After more than a dozen attempts to close in on Joey, Kitty Boy took a chance to cuddle with him. This time he knew to take it slow, but his eagerness brought him closer than any other of Grace's pets, and it paid off in the end. The two cats became best friends, and Joey showed a talent no one thought possible. Like any cat, Kitty Boy liked to roughhouse and run around the house with vigor. With a disability like Joey's, you'd think he'd have a hard time keeping up, but that wasn't the case at all. He roughhoused like any other cat and even showed an incredible jumping skill. He proved those folks at the shelter wrong. He was a fantastic indoor cat. Then came the end of Joey's foster journey. So it seemed Grace might have been worrying a little too much about Joey. He was such a well-behaved and loving cat, and very smart too. Still, Grace had always intended to give the feline away to a loving family after the foster period had ended. The two had built such a loving relationship, but still, Grace felt it would be best for Joey if he had a home with someone else. She shared the unusual cat's story far and wide, and Joey was put up for adoption. For almost an entire month they waited. The few who applied were just not a right fit. If only Joey could speak and tell Grace what he really wanted. Grace could feel that Joey was sending her signals to not let him go. After several weeks of looking for an ideal home for him, she saw things more clearly. She was the perfect owner for Joey all along. She signed the adoption papers, and the two have never been happier. Another perfect story to share. Grace's story wasn't done yet, though. She threw herself into animal advocacy groups, which is where she ultimately came across a woman named Nicole. Listening to Nicole's story, Grace couldn't help but be amazed by the similarities to her own. However, as her new friend continued, she grew increasingly concerned. Please share this story with your friends and family.